How often do people underestimate you for working from home? Right now, I've actually got my AirPods in, so I have done my workouts, but actually, I've already made a phone call to the doctors whilst doing a workout. I've done a yoga class for a brand I work with, and I've also done a jog to the shop. So each day, I tend to work from home. Well, whether it's my home or my partner's home. And what I found is that people have always underestimated what we do when we work from home. Now, more and more and more people are working from home. So it's such an important thing to bust those myths, not myths, those bust. um, but it's so important because so often I've been called a Del boy, or you've got to get a proper job, or you've got to do something proper, or you just mess around working from home. And this is something that I believe is also linked to being a woman. And I know a lot of men work from home as well. And I know there's still lots of stigma for everyone working from home. Um, but quite a few years ago, when I was working from home around the kids, having the kids most of the time, looking after home, running businesses from home, doing all sorts from home, even though I was rarely actually at home because I was either dealing with the kids, taking them out, doing their thing, getting them sorted, or dealing with the housework, and also whilst trying to run businesses from home or doing meetings and on shoots. So I was doing lots of things. So I was rarely at home, even though I was dubbed as having a home office, and that being my main place of work. And I was still out belly dancing on a night, gigging, and all sorts of things I was doing. And so often you get, oh, but it's not a proper job. Oh, well, just why don't you just be a housewife, or why don't you just get a job in an office? And I've tried all those things, and none of it works for me. I can't lie, that is not my area of genius. I'm more of a person with an entrepreneurial spirit. I've always done lots of things because I'm quite creative. I've done dancing, drama, acting, sport, writing, blogging, presenting, filmmaking, and even at the moment on paper, I've got about five businesses. Um, but I've loved that because whilst I found the hardest challenge was getting over people's stigma about working from home, and I think some of that was a lot of sexism about what I should or shouldn't be doing, or I should have it all, or I just should try and fit in. I should go out to work if I'm working, or I shouldn't work because I've got kids. There's so much pressure, but this is the same nowadays as well for men. And I just think actually now's the time where we're seeing an increasing workforce being asked to work from home because employers are finally seeing the benefits of working from home. Not only does it save them money and time, um, but actually productivity. Once you get into the right routine, you can be so much more productive because you're not on that morning commute. I used to from Wakefield to Salford, and sometimes with my slow driving and traffic, it could take me 4.5 hours on a morning if I was stuck in traffic jams. Even to a local city like Leeds, if there was traffic, it would take an hour and a half. And me and dyslexia and dyspraxia getting stuck on a ring road, then yeah, I'm always not going to make it on time. So there were so many different stresses where actually by the time I got to it, I was just exhausted, just drained, and I wasn't my most productive self then. And also, I'm hypersensitive, so working in an office, especially nowadays where everything's open plan, is my worst nightmare because you can get so much verbal noise in offices, but not just verbal, it's other noise. So it's people's emotions I pick up on, people's vibes I pick up on, people's energies. So it's such a myth that working from home makes you less productive because actually for some people it can make them a lot more productive. With me as well, I have to work, and that is so true, Elaine. I have to like work out throughout the day to break it up. And like Elaine's saying, as we record this live, it can be bad for someone's mental health as well, working from home without having like the routine of video calls with colleagues. And that is so important to think about as well, because it's something I'm passionate about. Because for me, working from home means I can do it around my mental health appointments. So I always prioritize them nowadays. Whereas before, I had good employers, but I struggled to ask all the time when I needed the time to go for mental health appointments. And that was my own confidence. But like you say, you have to manage it around your mental health. And so, one of the things that I found is having a routine that I stick to. So, even if that's exercise classes that I book onto, or setting up my own dance classes, doing my own writing, but making sure like this morning I've already been out for a jog, because I know if I don't do that first thing, I might not do that in the day. So I've got to do that to get like rid of any anxiety. Also, you might be a people person, so you might want to call people. I'm not a caller at all. I've got a bit of a phone phobia, which is why I always use AirPods. So I'm cleaning whilst I'm calling people, even if it's work calls, I'm cleaning, because that actually helps relax me when I'm anxious on the phone. But again, it's having that structure, and then obviously what you're allowed to do, whether you can meet up with people. But what I'd say is the beauty of working from home, and try not to lose it. Be your own kind boss, because you can end up working all hours. I got into a bad habit of like getting up at 4 a.m. working until I fell asleep at my desk, and there was no break, not even a commute. And that could be a bad thing, but actually getting into that routine where you've got a good sleep hygiene, you've got a good sleep routine, exercise, eating well, use the time. Don't feel bad about taking breaks. Think how much time in a workplace. I was like the designated tea person. I was the tea lady, always doing the tea rounds, always making everyone teas. The amount of time I saved just making myself a cup of tea, I can go on that run, or I could meet a friend, or go for a coffee, without feeling awful about it. And actually having those breaks for your mental well-being and physical well-being can really help your productivity, but also your mental health. And also your ideas. Do you know, if you've ever heard of like writer's block, or you sit there and you think, I can't think how I'm going to phrase that. I can't think how I'm going to do that. Actually, by taking breaks really helps. And that's why I struggle with some of the institutions and workplaces offer, because everything's so strict, or we have to ask permission, and always ask permission. And I need the toilet. Like, I go to the toilet a lot because I drink so much water. And just to be able to do that without having to go, oh, can I just nip to the toilet and then I'll do that for you? I'll just do that. Or you're getting into a chat with so and so at the water machine, or you're getting into a chat. So actually, it can make you a lot more productive, and you can also get a better balance. But that's why it's really important, to get that balance at home and in life when it comes to working for yourself, finding things that make you passionate. Because I really am a big believer in flexible working, but work that works for you. Flexible working isn't what works for the people at the top, it's about what works best for you and your situation. Whether you're a dad and you want to be at home with the kids, whether you're a mum and actually you thrive better going out and about, and you can work from home as your base, but it doesn't mean you're just confined to that space. Obviously, as we've gone through the coronavirus pandemic, sometimes we have been confined to that space. And I think that's what's been a really big challenge. I know I myself, even though I've pretty much always worked for myself and mainly from home for about 10 years, even I found that hard, that change. So that's why I had to build in booking in my exercise classes, or when I was allowed, like going out for a jog, and forcing myself and committing myself to that. I also listened to a lot of feel good podcasts, to get me into the right mindset. So there's so many things where people often underestimate what you can do working from home, and they say, oh, well, you won't get much done, or it's not a proper job. Well, who wants a proper job at the moment? Like, honestly, it's about a proper job for you. Whatever is a good job for you is a proper job. It doesn't matter. It's got to work for you. It's not about just clocking in, clocking out, and just kind of like going with office politics, staying until late just because that looks like you're working harder. It's actually making work that works for you, which is something that I'm really, really passionate about. Also, my friend, and that reminds me, my friend, Honest Mum, Vicky, has written a book, Mum Boss, and that's all about surviving and thriving at work and home. So she's got that out this week. Well, her second edition is out in America as well with her. And also, you can chat to me on social media. I'm starting to do self love coaching. I'm training as a personal trainer. I get to also do mental health training online at the moment. I'm doing a personal branding course today. I'm working out, teaching social media, teaching a bit of dance, doing some writing, vlogging, lots of things, all in a day's work. And that's when people say, oh, you're just lazy if you work from home. No, not at all. Oh my gosh, some days, if I listed all the different tasks that I do in a day, it is crazy. So, never as well, if you live with someone who works from home, expect to come home and think the house is going to be spick and span, because unless I've had lots of phone calls, it is not going to happen. Because I have to get so much done, because as well, because I work for myself, you're doing the invoicing, you're doing the accounts, you're doing everything, you're doing every aspect, which takes a lot of organization. And whilst I'm creative and all over the place sometimes, and I must have some organizational skills, because you get all this stuff done. But again, make time for yourself, prioritize your own health, because health is wealth. Like, honestly, I cannot tell you how much health is wealth. And it's something that I gave up, with like my mental health appointments. Sometimes at times in my life, I'm too busy, I'm on deadline, I can't do my fitness. No, my fitness made me faster to do my deadline on time. No, going to my mental health appointment saved me time in the long run for not breaking down again, or not totally burning out because I was doing things that don't make me passionate and make me feel awful. So honestly, make time for yourself, because you are important and you are worthy. And whilst working from home can work, it's trial and error. And I love it. And it is the best thing that I could have ever done. And I'm so grateful for it. But as I say, find what works for you, because we're all individual, we're all unique. But speak up and speak out. Don't just put up with things. If work isn't working for you, it is so important you get that right, because for your own mental health, your own well-being, and also if you do have a family or loved ones around you, for them as well. If at first you can't do it for yourself, do it for others until you start to believe in yourself. Anyway, send you all so much peace, so much love, and so many shimmies. And I'm off to do my course. I haven't even got my watch on yet. Got my Apple Watch on. See you later. Bye.